morning, everyone. Um, Happy Thursday. I pray that you've had a beautifully blessed week so far and that it's been filled with harmony and positivity and peace. I will say that this post eclipse, pre eclipse season has been a weird one. But in the, I don't know, I can't even get into it, but if you're with me, you get it. You already know. Today I wanted to touch on opening the heart from a place of self-worth and wholeness, because a lot of us don't realize that we're walking around with our hearts like closed off to love and to new experiences. Specifically love is what I want to touch on, opening the heart to love and releasing those walls and guards from around the heart. um Oh, this is a very personal subject for me, as everything I touch on here. Welcome to Tea Talk. If you're new, nice to meet you. um, every subject I touch on is from a personal place. It's from a place of usually what either have grasped, well, not even for the first time grasped over this last few weeks, but like that has came back into the limelight. Because, like I said, healing is a journey. It is not a destination. And while at one point, especially over these last 2 years, I've been reopening my heart to love, not that it was 100% closed off, but I used to operate from a place of trauma and lack when it came to it, because I've always had an open heart. My heart is way too big to just like hide my love from the world. I refuse, okay? I would be depriving the world of pure immense love. But I was operating from a place of, prior to these last, well, I would say 2025 and back, or especially early 2025 and back, I was operating from a place of lack and trauma with love, like, uh, in so many different ways. Like, and I didn't really realize it at the time. Sometimes I'm pretty sure someone can relate out there. You think you're ready for a relationship, especially after like one that may have been traumatic for you. Um, One for me that lasted a few years. Um, Even though that, when did that end? 2023-ish, I think. I don't know. I think it was 2023-ish is when it ended. And I kind of just sat with myself, and then I kind of got back out there a little bit. But at the same time, I didn't, I feel like I didn't fully take time out for me. Like, yes, there was that time, like it was months before I even decided to even text anyone again. Like almost a year. And then I put myself back out there. But even in that time frame, I feel like I was kind of healing from the attachment that I lost, because I used to operate in an anxious attachment style. Hey, I'm here to be honest. Um, because after a while it wasn't love. The love was gone, at least for me. But the attachment was there. You get used to what's comfortable. You get used to what's familiar. And when it's been years, sometimes you be like, you know, in relationships they say love is not enough, which is true. There are other things, but the other things had went away. And then once those other things had went away and it wasn't a safe place for me anymore, eventually, love went away too. So um yeah, like I didn't take time out to fully pour into me the way I thought I did. Like looking back now, at the time I thought I did, but looking back now, I wasn't. I was kind of just trying to get used to like what was unfamiliar. I was in survival mode. But yeah, that's that pretty much sums up what I'm trying to say. Survival mode is where a lot of us operate from trauma and with love. We don't like operate from a place of wholeness. We operate from a place of lack. A lot of people, myself included, may have tried to use love to fill a void that we're feeling on the inside. or to prove something or to like, it's not from a place of wholeness, you know? So, oh, this is a bit of a touchy subject, but not in a bad way. Like, well, it's not good and bad, but it's it's a lot to touch on. That's why I wrote some stuff down. But right now, I just want to kind of go into what made me realize in these last few months that I was still kind of, well, last few weeks, that I was still kind of closing myself off a little bit, even though my heart has always been open. I would kind of reject the energy subconsciously out of fear. And everything comes back to fears at the end of the day. 90% of the things in life that people are doing or not doing, especially not doing, is from a place of fear of the unknown, fear of what could happen, fear of how could this go wrong, a fear of being hurt, you know. Um, but for me, I don't really like, it wasn't from a place like in these last few months. In the past, it was from hiding myself from a place of being fearing being hurt. But I no longer fear being hurt in life. I no longer fear grief. I no longer fear sadness. It's no point. Like, you're gonna experience joy, you're gonna experience sadness. Nothing lasts forever. Like, we're all walking around here with an expiration date. So the point of life is to love and to experience and to not grasp onto what and who you're loving, you know? So I've been able to reach that. But even with that knowledge, I was still operating from a place of fear. But the fear was me holding on to the past um version of me that gave and received love versus the version of me that I am today. And to go into the version of me I was then, survival mode, I would kind of lose myself in the process of loving someone else. And I know many people can probably relate to that. Losing yourself in the process of trying to love other people. This can be romantically, this can be family, this can be in many different ways, but 90% of the time is with relationships. um, and it was because I was, like I said, I was trying to fill that void, and the void that was in within me the entire time was the lack of unconditional love I was giving myself without even realizing it. If you, like I said, if you asked me at that time, I loved myself fully. Did I know my worth? No, not for real. But I didn't, that's really what it was. I didn't know my worth. I didn't have boundaries, and I didn't have enough boundaries. I was so busy on making everyone else happy, making sure everyone else was okay, that I wasn't okay. So I think a part of me wasn't fully trusting the version of me that I am today. And now that I do, like I said, this is something I've been pondering over for the last few weeks. Like, it was almost episode 10 or 9. I think this is 11. But I kind of just wanted to sit with it for a little bit more. I was like, let me just sit with this. Let me sit with it. And the other message that came out at those times, it came out exactly how it was meant to come out. But oh, with the love. Oh, let me just, I want to touch on everything here. Because, like I said, I was in survival mode, babes. In my handy dandy journal, or my note journal. This isn't my real journal. This is the notes I take from pretty much my journal. But not seeking love from a place to complete something. A lot of people feel like something's missing in my life. And this can go for money, love, a lot of things. Like, we tend to seek outside of ourselves for wholeness and not realize that everything we have is within us already. Like, you may meet a person, it can be the love of your life. And you may think, dang, I've never been able to experience this type of love before. And you may fear losing that person because you may think that you are going to lose the sense of love that have evolved in you, have came up in you. But the reality of it is, things outside of us can be a catalyst for what we feel. but it's not the source of it. You are the source. You know, like you are the source of that beautiful unconditional love that you're feeling for that person. You are the source of that joy. Think about when you go on a trip. Let's say you go to Jamaica, the Bahamas, or whatever, which is, can't wait to go. You may experience a version of yourself that you are not at home. You may be more free, you may be more adventurous, whatever. That place didn't bring it out of you. New environments, of course, can bring things out of you, but it wasn't the source of it. You can go to somewhere in the country, or like you can go up the street and be that same person right here, right now. But what usually stops us is thinking that other things have to bring it out, or fear of being fully seen and authentic. But that's another story. But like in that process, you can go to Germany and be that same person. You can come home and choose to be that same person. Everything outside of you is not the source of what you feel. You are the source, and those things can be catalysts for it. Because, like, for example, some people out there, you'll see some people fall in love the same way, three different people. It's because they're that type of loving person. And the other people out there helping bring it out of them, but they're not the source of it. So it's important to say all that. It's important to realize that you are already whole. You are the unconditional love that you're looking for. You are the beauty that you see in this world. Or you could be the ugly that you see in this world. And I say that with so much love. But if you look at, if there's a person that complains a lot or just only look at things and find something wrong with them, they usually look at themselves and find something wrong with them, or they just don't have a positive outlook on life. And that's because you are the source of what you believe. You are the source of what you attract in. Life mirrors who you are. And to come to that, you attract what you are, not what you want. I'll say it again. You attract what you are, not what you want. You can say all day. I want unconditional love from this person. I want to be treated this way. I want this, I want that. But are you giving those things to yourself? And I wasn't giving those things to myself, honestly. I wasn't loving myself unconditionally. I wasn't holding my space for all of me. I wasn't setting healthy boundaries. I didn't know my worth. I, like I said, I think I said this in the previous episode, I am that person that can look at a person, it is a gift, and see their highest potential, their highest self, what they can be if they just locked in and just realize that they are limitless, powerful, that they are everything, that they are God. But I had to realize that not everyone sees themselves as that, and not everyone is like willing to rise to that. That's a choice that everyone else have of their own. So I had to stop living from seeing the potential of everyone and seeing what was being shown to me as plain as day. And that's not always easy to accept. It's easy to see, but it's not easy to accept. And now that I'm in a place where I can accept it, my self-worth have rose, because instead of looking at the potential of everything outside of me in life, I finally pour into my own potential. I finally pour into what I know I am, that I know I can be, the woman that God has always seen me to be, not for who I was. So to say all that is, I had to learn to love myself and to evolve into the version of me that can hold and sustain love, because we have all been in a place where we thought we was ready for a relationship. Honey, I thought I was ready for a relationship at multiple times. And I'm someone, personally for me, I am someone where a man, I can't, I've never done a roster thing. I can't. Power to anyone that do. But to think I have to wake up and talk to different people and keep up different conversations, I could do it. I'm very charismatic, but I don't want to. And then go on dates, and then don't even get me started on any sexual relations because I'm not. Multiple people at one, absolutely not. I'm not judging anyone. Do what you do, but it's just that's not how I roll. No. So a roster has never been my thing. But even with that, like I'm I always have been someone that likes someone every 1 to 3 years. I am one of those people. And it's I'm selective, but I was also kind of hiding myself at the same time. And like I said, this is a very vast subject to touch on, at least for me. So please bear with me to my beautiful listeners. I know someone can relate. This is a subject that I don't even really see it talked about a lot. And it's not something I've ever really openly talked about. So bear with me. That's why I wrote some stuff down. And excuse my voice. Hmm. Got my lemon ginger tea here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So when I was journaling and just been sitting with myself, I was saying, love is an additional to is an add-on to a whole life, not a rescue from an empty one. And life is never really empty. Like I said, we pretty much just project what we feel on the inside to the outside. So if you feel empty, which we've all been there, um, it's usually because, like I said, we're seeking for a void outside of us. And I used to be the person to be like, oh, I wish someone can love me the way that I love. Because baby, to be loved by me is it is a blessing. um, but I realized, babes, you are that love. And that's like I am the love that I used to so freely give to others, even when I wasn't getting it back. I am the love that I've always looked for in this world. And when I realized that, it made me open my heart up even more to love because I can now operate from a place of wholeness, from a place of knowing that I will always love myself more than I love anyone outside of me. I will always put myself first. I will always choose myself. I will always stand in my worth. I can trust the version of me I've evolved into. So, boom, moving to the version of me I am now and who I trust fully to be able to hold and to sustain the love that I know God is aligning for me in my life. It was not an easy journey to get here, but it was a necessary one. Every lesson I learned in every relationship has taught me so much. Even though, I wasn't really, I've probably been like in like two real relationships, but even like if you were in a situationship or talk to someone, like even if you're talking to a freaking stranger or a friend, every lesson I've learned has led me to who I am today. So, to get into the smoke, are you, some of the things I wrote down, fear based love, armor, that never again, or I'm never opening my heart to anyone again, or I don't want to love anyone, I'm just going to be a player, I'm just going to go around and do this and treat people the way they've treated me in the past. Babes, you're only hurting yourself in that case. You're only closing yourself off in that case. You're only stopping yourself from experiencing the best part of living, which is love. Or you can operate from a place of discernment, which is healthy. It's not avoidant. It's not fear based. Discernment is more of a let's see type of energy. Like, okay, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to stand in my worth. I'm going to have my healthy boundaries, but I'm going to open myself up to this connection because what do I have to lose? Like, you're just going to stay on earth and never love anyone fully? That sounds horrible and lonely and boring. Um, so using your discernment, for me, using my discernment now, I can open my heart up fully, or my heart is open fully to receiving and giving love, but only if it makes sense to the worth that I've cultivated within myself. Like, if anything goes against my boundaries, no. If anything makes me have to abandon myself, no. If anything causes me to second guess if I'm being treated the way I deserve to be treated, no. Like, and these are things that I didn't always do have in the past. Like, it'll be like I'll be honest, I would say my boundaries were weak, but I don't look at me. I don't think I really had any. Like, not saying I didn't have any at all, but around a lot of major subjects, like I would abandon myself and be like, you know what? Instead of choosing me and leaving when this hurts, I'm gonna choose and try to love this person more past their pain. Love them past their pain. Make them see their worth and that they're worthy of loving, even though they're not doing that for me. That was a very self abandonment. That just sums it up. Everything comes back to self worth and self abandonment. Pretty much every subject I've touched on so far in every episode has been not abandoning self, making sure that you love yourself. So, yeah, I was abandoning myself a lot for the sake of others, for the love of others. And looking back, I have no regrets because it taught me how to love myself. Um, so I want to go over entering love from a place of self worth for me, what it means for me. Without walls. Boundaries are not walls. They're sacred I love yous to yourself. They teach people how to treat you. So, what self worth and boundaries protect you from? They protect you from abandoning yourself while receiving love. Like I said, you don't get lost in loving someone else. Most people, at least for me, I fear, like I said, losing focus. Some people may think, oh, you'll lose focus on your dreams, your career because you're caught up in love. That is only if you don't have a full sense of self. It's possible to do that, but if you don't have a full sense of self, if you don't have that grounded moment where you can come back to you and be like, okay, this is who I am. I have my own identity outside of me loving this person. Because, like I said, some people, your identity can easily become the person that you're with. But it's crucial that you sit with yourself. And that brings me to this. I will be a, I will forever be a firm believer, not just for women, men, everyone should sit with themselves and learn who they are. Live alone for some years before kids, before a husband, before trying to move your boyfriend or girlfriend in immediately after leaving your parents' house. Just whatever the case may be, sit with yourself. As uncomfortable as it may be for some people, sit with yourself. Learn you. Get to know you. Love yourself. See what works for you. See what you like or don't like. Understand your own hobbies and your own needs for your soul, not for the ego, for the soul. Because when you do that and you allow someone else to come in, you have a sense of self. You know who you are. You love yourself. You have your self worth. You have your own hobbies. You have your own identity. Your identity cannot become someone else's because you have your own. It is so easy to get lost in the world of others when you are not grounded within yourself. So, sit with yourself. It's so many people that have never been alone a day in their life. And I say this with so much love and not judgment. But if you go from your parents' house and you immediately move in or get married, or which is, I'm not knocking anyone that have done that. That is, you may grew up and was able to know yourself. Like I said, for me, for everyone has grown up differently. Everyone has experienced life differently. But if you never really sit with yourself, you don't really know yourself. And you can sit with yourself when you're with someone. I'm not saying that you can't, but a lot of people I know have not. and I'm just speaking from experience, a lot of people I know have not sat with themselves and just been with themselves, and to be lonely to the point where it no longer feels lonely. It feels safe because you are no longer seeking outside of yourself to fill a void or to feel like, oh, I'm lonely, so let me go with this person, let me do this. You no longer operate from a place of lack. When you operate from a place of lack, 99% of the time you're going to lay down your boundaries. You're going to forget your self-love. You're going to forget your self-worth. This has happened to me. Like I said, I'm speaking from experience here. So sitting with myself has been the most beautiful thing. But in the process of sitting with myself, I did close myself off a little bit. And that is also possible. So it is a balance. It is a balance. Do not close yourself off. Mm, sorry. Back to my handy dandy notebook. Yes, that was the point I was on. From abandoning yourself, it protects you from abandoning yourself while receiving love. Like I said, when you know yourself, you have your self worth, and you have your own identity, you do not abandon yourself for the sake of others. You receive that love and is able to give that love back from a place of wholeness and from a place of still remembering who you are. Second, you can be fully open and rooted in yourself, which is pretty much what I just explained of sitting with self and having your own identity, being rooted in who you are while still being fully open and not closed off. Third, putting yourself out there. You never know until you try. So if you're someone that's holding on to your feelings, whether if it's for someone or if you just don't have, like, you just want to get back out and dating, um, you may want to go out and do it. Some people like what they're called, I forget the name of it. You know those online websites, the dating sites. I've never done a dating site. I like to do it the old-fashioned way. But yeah, but however you want to put yourself out there, you don't know until you try. The only thing that's standing in your way between you and a new experience, you and love, you and a connection, you and the life that you dream of is yourself. You are your only holdup in life. You are your only obstacle. Your mentality, your heart, whether if it's open or closed. So put yourself out there. What's the worst you can be? What's the worst that can happen? Yes, you can get hurt. Yes, you can be told no. But you could also meet the love of your life. You could also get told yes. Everything that you could imagine that is great in your mind can also happen. It's either one side of the coin or it's the other. You're either gonna flip the coin or you're just gonna have the coin in your hand. Um, Self-worth and self-love makes boundaries stop being walls and it just start being clarity. It's like, okay, I can let this in and still be safe. I can let love in, but if it starts to cause me to abandon myself or to be treated less than what I know I'm worthy of, I can leave. I can leave. Let me say this again. You can leave. At any point, you hold the power to your own self worth and how you are being treated. If you do not feel like you are being treated to the utmost respect of how, let me tell you something. The way I love myself now, if if a man is not putting me, I'm talking about on a pedestal of like, okay, this is a baby bird. Not literally, but you know what I mean. I am going to care for this baby bird. But yet, love is treating someone's heart as if it's your own. I stand by this. And when you love yourself and you are whole and you know your worth, naturally you treat them with the utmost respect because you have respect and love for yourself. So when I love someone, I love them as if their heart is my own. I will hold your heart in your hand and all that you are and your flaws unconditionally, fully, with gratitude because I am able to hold that space for myself. Because I am home within myself. It's not because I need you, it's because I want you. It's because I trust myself and I trust you. So if someone's not treating and holding your heart as if it is their own. Two things: they don't fully love you, or they don't fully love themselves. Or two things can also be true at once. Because at the end of the day, everyone is a mirror. And once you, like, some people can treat you, here's it: people can only meet you at the depth that they've met themselves. And if they have not met themselves and loved themselves fully, shadows, light, dark, gifts, imperfections, all of it, then they're not going to love you the same. And I didn't know that. I was never taught that. I had to learn that from experience, like from self and from others. Like, for example, cheating. That is just something. I've never cheated. I've never even thought about cheating. I've never even had the inkling to cheat. Like, I don't get it. I don't care what anyone say. That is just, I love myself too much to cheat, because not only am I sharing my energy, my precious energy with more than one person, I'm hurting someone else. And if you love someone, truly love someone, hurting them hurts you. It's back to back to the matter. Um, so yeah, cheating just, so that is a hard limit for me. That is a boundary. I know some women out here saying, well, men are gonna cheat as long as they don't bring home babies or ST baby. No, I don't care what y'all think a man is gonna do. You can allow that man or woman to cheat on you and you can accept all that, but I ain't doing it. That is a non-negotiable. Have I dealt with it in the past? Yes. Like I said, I'm speaking from experience. I will never ever place second to anyone. I will never ever be a side piece. I will never ever allow anyone to cheat on me. Point blank. I will always choose me. I don't care who I have to leave. I don't. It will always be me. And I can trust myself now because I know these are boundaries that are set in stone for me. I don't do the lying. I don't do the cheating. And I'm also not going into new connections and new experiences in life holding on to what happened in the past, because that's another thing. You may be someone that's open to love. That may not be an issue for you. But you could also be holding on to the past things that happened in love. Like, okay, this last person cheated on me, so I'm going to make this person suffer and not trust them because of what someone else did to me. I know it's easier said than done to kind of let that go. But if you choose to open your heart up, you kind of have to choose and go into a new connection. You have to choose to not hold that new person to what the old person did. Because 9 times out of 10, like I said, I forgive anyone who I'm past, but everyone is operating out of trauma half the time, or lack of self love, or lack of self worth. Cheating to me is a lack of self worth and a lack of self love, because if you love the person you're with and if you love yourself, then it's just certain things you're not going to do. That's just for me. I'm not coming for anyone. You're watching this and you cheated before, I'm not coming for you. Or if you've been cheated on, I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying what I feel for myself. My self worth and self love will not allow me to cheat on anyone, nor will it allow anyone to cheat on me. Point blank, or to treat me dirty. Like it's not just cheating. People think relationships fail just based on cheating. No, no, it's numerous things. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about opening yourself up to love and realizing that love is the whole point of life. So back to that. Let's see. Oh, yep, and I did write that down. Loving someone is treating their heart as if it was your own. Um, ooh, and also in relationships, people. I see a lot of people that argue, and they're arguing against each other. It's not them against the problem; it's them against each other, and then eventually, and you know what happens with that? I never even realized, when it's you against the person instead of you against the problem comes back up again. Like, We all have probably been in a relationship where the same argument has happened hella times. You're just like, we already talked about this. Did you really talk about it? Like, did you really? Or did you attack each other until until you just got tired and then the subject itself or the problem itself was never solved? Oh, I never like I said, talking sometimes give you your own sense of clarity, but that is so common. Like, so yeah, pride will literally cost you everything and leave you with nothing. Some people will argue with their partner, attack them, and not like focus on the problem. And it can be on both sides. It's always like you, or if you're that person, like I've dealt with a narcissist before. Um, Classic narcissist behavior is when someone you bring up something that's bothering you, and then that person all of a sudden has 50 things that they need to bring up when it comes to you. And it's like, so you weren't just going to bring that up before? Are you just deflecting now that I've brought something up that is bothering me and now all of a sudden everything in the world is bothering? That's narcissism. That's narcissism. That's manipulation. And a lot of people don't even realize it. Whether you're the person that's doing the manipulating or if you're being manipulated, the fact of the matter is that. So, and that's a lot of times why arguments get brought back up, because you get to a place where you're no longer solving the problems. It's just you against the person. And I promise you, if it's you against the person 50,000 times, it's just going to continue to get to a point where eventually you're going to fall apart. Because what are you solving? You're just attacking. And no one's going to be attacked forever. Um, so yeah, don't let pride cost you everything and leave you with nothing. Don't let being right leave you alone. Because yeah, you can be right about everything in life, but who cares? Like a lot of like I don't just who cares? If being right costs you the love of your life, what are you really losing and gaining? ah, mm, like I said, this self protection can accidentally become self abandonment. Hold that down. You are so busy guarding the door that you are not even living in the house. Let me repeat that. Self protection and guarding your heart can easily become self abandonment. And I know it's like, no, it's not because I'm protecting myself. No, it is self abandonment because you can be so busy guarding the door and locking up the door and making sure no one comes in. You're the bouncer. You're not even in the club. You're not even in the house. You're literally witnessing life happen to you. You're scared of what could happen to the point where you're not even going outside, you know? And like I said, it's so common to close yourself off. It is so easy to close yourself off. And I love to do the hard part. I love to challenge myself. I'm going to challenge myself and keep myself open every time. Because not only am I not gonna let my past dictate my future, I'm not gonna let the old versions of me that was a mirror to what I was dealing with at that time keep me from realizing the version of me that I've evolved into today. Because the version of me I've evolved into today, everything that meets me now meets me from the self love and the self worth I've cultivated. You couldn't pay me to deal with the same things I dealt with in the past, but I also don't expect those same things to happen because I know what I allow, and what you allow is what will continue, and I ain't allowing this. Like my heart is open, but I don't play about me no more. And it's like, since I don't play about me no more, I can open myself up fully and love someone unconditionally and fully and with all I have, while still staying grounded and rooted into who I am, while still maintaining my own identity, while still loving myself and honoring my hobbies and honoring my dreams equally. Like I have 1,000,000% faith in myself in that. And I pray that whoever is watching this has that same faith in themselves because you can do it, babes. You can open your heart up and still be safe. You can let people in and still be safe. All you have to do is create that safe space within yourself to trust yourself and your boundaries so much and to know your worth and to not falter it, to not abandon yourself because you want to love someone else into seeing their own worth. You don't have to do that. Your only job is to cultivate your self worth, your self love, and to be all that you are. And if people choose to meet you there, then they meet you there. And they don't. And if they don't, then they don't. You were born without them. You don't need anyone. And I say that when whoever you know what I mean. Like think about the life that you had before you met the person that was doing you dirty. Your life can go back to what it was before. It may not go back to it exactly, clearly, but you don't have to put up with what you don't want to put up with. Like, there are billions of people on this earth. Don't let one person or two people or three relationships, even whatever, stop you from finding the love of your life. And understand that you are the first love of your life. And if you don't realize that, you're never going to find that outside of yourself. You have to realize that you are the love. You are home. You are wholeness. You are everything that you are looking for. You are that unconditional love in that safe place that you may be seeking outside of yourself for. You are that validation. You are that clarity. And when you realize that, you can love and hold space for another person while not expecting them to be your happiness and to be your safe place. I mean, people can add to your happiness. That's the whole point. They don't need to be the source of your happiness, they need to add to it. And people talk about them. Hey, I the only thing I'm gonna say about this, I one thing that Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith said that I admire is they didn't expect each other to be the source of the other person's happiness. Like they didn't look at me like, okay, you need to make me happy. That's a huge job for someone to do. You have to make yourself happy. And as a byproduct of you making yourself happy, everything else outside of yourself, every person, every experience adds to that happiness. No one needs to be the source of your happiness. You are the source of your happiness. Point blank. I think we'll end it here. Let's see if I have some more notes. Um, Getting to know yourself first, feeling like I said, a man never has to compete with another man with me. There's not another roster. If I am talking to you and putting my energy into you, it is only you. But you are competing with how happy I am single versus what you are providing me. If you are not adding to my happiness or if you're not treating me to the to the utmost respect and love that I hold for myself, which is immense, I can do without you. And it's okay. No matter what, I'm still whole. No matter what comes or go in my life, I'm still whole. And same with you. Whether you realize it or not, no matter who comes and go in your life, you are whole. You were whole when you came into this world. You will be whole when you leave this world. And no person, place, or thing outside of you can change that. It just takes you to realize it. Like I said, a man is not competing with anyone else. You're competing with my own sense of wholeness. And if you're coming in with good intentions and love and affection and like loyalty and all of the beautiful things, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're not, and you think you're gonna come over here and play a few games or whatever, and And like I said, I'm not going into any new situations, even with that in my mind. Now, I'm not going into any situation in life with that in my mind because the version of me I am today, everything meets me where I am. Point blank. God wouldn't even let anything around me that doesn't align with my good and my discernment, my gifts that have strengthened, wouldn't even allow. I would be able to sense it immediately. So I trust myself. And I know, like I said, divine love is inevitable for me. God is like, baby girl, the love that you put so freely out into this world, we're giving it back to you because you're giving it to yourself. Like I said, I can trust myself in a version just as long as you set boundaries within yourself and trust yourself and be like and tell yourself, well, you gotta look in the mirror and what? I got you. No one gonna play with us because I got us. Then you're good. You just gotta stand fully in your self-worth, man. And I wrote that. I am whole with or without this. That is, I want an affirmation I want for anyone out here that is putting themselves, but yeah, you can not even just for love. It can just go, this can go for anything in life, a job, money, people, places, things, habits, vices, whatever you have. Start telling yourself, I am whole without this. Whatever this is, you fill in the blanks, or you can just say whatever. I am whole without this person. I am whole without this vice. I am whole without this job. I am whole without any external things telling me any different. Bask in that. Bask in it. Own it. Own yourself. Love yourself. Stand in your word. Stand in your power. And keep your heart open. Don't build walls around yourself because yeah, you may be blocking out pain and hurt from possibly coming in, but you're also blocking out the good things from coming in. They can't jump over the wall too. So yeah, man, be blessed, be the blessing, and understand that you are unconditional love. It starts with you. You are the first love of your life. Everything else is second. Yeah, man. Happy Thursday. I pray you have a beautiful Friday and weekend. And if you've been feeling the effects of this post eclipse going into the new eclipse next week, hang in there. Keep going. And if you don't know some of the effects, some people are affected and don't even know it. If you've been feeling emotional, some of the past energies been coming back up, or you've been feeling like a bit of a drive, but no direction, or if you've been feeling kind of exhausted, like you just need to rest, keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. And yeah, you are worthy. You are beautiful. You are limitless. You are powerful. You are an infinitely beautiful being. And I pray that you see that. And I pray that you open your heart and you know your worth and you know you're amazing.